let's take a quick look now at how to prepare the pieces of wood for your Kinetic Heart Pin. And I'm going to start by opening up the box. This is the piece we're making. I'll put it over here to keep it separate. Open up my bag, and we'll find several things inside it. First, we're going to find the hardware kit, which we can put aside. We don't need it right now. We have our big geared face piece. When you decorate this, we've got Steamy Tech here on the front the way we cut it. But when you sand and stain or paint pin this, you can flip that over. So decide which side you're going to use as your front, probably this side, and make sure you decorate that all up nice and pretty. Now in my smaller bag here, what you'll see are two smaller gears that are very turtle shaped. I kind of think of them as turtles with little cutouts of hearts in them. Those are going to be your two facing gears. I have a bigger gear that has an X in it. That's the other piece that's going to go on the front. And then I have a geared circle with a cross through it. That circle is going to go on the back of your piece. So you're going to want to decorate both sides of that as well as both sides of all your gears. Finally, in this bag, you'll find a little round circle that's going to get buried in between the layers. You won't be able to see it as well as two little U's that you're not going to see. So, my suggestion, put the three pieces that you are not going to see, that you don't need to decorate, back in your bag with your screw kit. Make sure you don't lose any of those. And then prepare the wood, sand, decorate up as much as you want to. Your three gears, your big gear that goes on the back, and the front and back of your heart pin. Now we're going to build our Kinetic Heart Pin. Remember, this is what it's going to look like. Hopefully you've already done the work to do the decorating of all of the pieces. And what we want to do next then is actually start to put it together. So I'm going to put this over on the side as our sample. And we'll take a look at our pieces and start to put it together. And where we're going to start is with this back ring. We want this side to be the actual back. So we're going to put it here, and we also want our two U pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to glue my U together, put a little drop of glue there and there to get my two halves of my U to glue together properly. So we'll put them together like that. Use our cloth to get rid of any of the extra glue sitting on them and get those two glued together nicely like that. And now we need to glue them into this gear. So I'm going to put a little glue in these channels on the side of this all the way around. Trying to avoid getting my fingers too gluey. A little more glue here. Keep going all the way around. And you can easily set this into that piece like that. Then we want to glue this circle on top of it. So I'm going to put some glue on this piece. And remember that this is the back side of this piece because we want the front side of it to be pretty. And I'm going to take this second piece and I'm going to glue it together to that. So that should give me a really good strong base for my piece. And now we're ready to glue the big gear on top. But we're going to want to put this gear in through here so it will spin to do that. So, since I want this to be the front of the piece this time, I'm going to flip it over. Put my glue on, but make sure I don't get glue anywhere near the edges of the circle. Got lots of nice glue here. And you'll also notice this is a little bit stiff to put on. You may want a little bit of a hammer or something else to help you push down and get it nice and flat. And the goal is to get that flat and it'll still spin nice and loose. So we want flat both on top and the bottom. And that will get that all to spin perfectly together and give you a really pretty base for your heart pieces. The other thing to be a little bit careful about with this piece is that there's some delicate wood in here and you don't want to pound too hard, pressure, leverage too hard, or you'll run into a problem. You can see I've got a little bit of space left in my wood stack now. So everything is on and glued together nicely. and shouldn't come off at all and be a problem. And now I'm ready for my hardware. This is one of the easiest pieces to build, except for that nice little trick with getting your U's in place. But it's a perfect piece for a younger child to be able to decorate and end up with a beautiful piece of jewelry for mom. Now, here's the next tricky part. I used to call this a butterfly, and we call these puppies little turtles. So we want to take one of our little turtles, and we're going to take the head of the butterfly and put it in this arch on the turtle. That's going to get us proper alignment. But to make sure that works, we want to make sure to put that through and spin it so that that gear spins all the way around. If it doesn't spin all the way around, you probably got one of the pieces on upside down, and you'll need to flip the other one over to match it to make sure it still spins. Once I'm happy with that, I can flip my piece over. I can put a dot of glue on the nut. Sorry, I can put a dot of glue on the screw, and I can put my nut on. These are the 3/8 inch screws. We're not going to tighten them down. Make sure as you do this that you leave a little bit of space between the back of the nut and the wood so that it all can spin loosely. If you tighten it down, you won't be able to spin it. You also want to make sure that you don't stop instantly and tighten and spin and let it tighten up until that glue has a chance to dry, because you wouldn't want it to tighten up. Once you're ready with that side, then you can aim the head of the butterfly over here, and we'll do that same thing on this side. Put the screw in, spin it around, and you'll notice I've got it right here and it's spinning around fine. If I were to flip this over the wrong way, first it doesn't fit over his head as well. You can see when I do this, doesn't fit quite the same way, and I'm almost instantly jammed to the point I can't spin it. So make sure you spin it all the way around before you even think about putting glue on your screw and putting your nut on. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on, spin it all the way around and check it one more time. Flip this over, put a dot of glue here like so. Put my nut on the back. And again, this time, remember, we're going to make sure we keep that nut nice and loose. Make sure you've got some air space between the back of the nut and the piece. One way to do that is just to make sure you put it on here nice and flat like that. So I've done that. It's spinning lovely and looks great from this perspective. And you're ready to finish it now. If you're going to use it as a pin, the last step is to put the pin backs on. Now, we've given you these two little wooden spacers in your screw kit. And the reason we did that is in many cases your fabric will be thick enough that it wouldn't be able to go. If we just glued the pin backs on directly, it wouldn't be able to go. So I'm going to put these two little wooden spacers on here to give myself some height when I attach the pin backs. I'll do that. I'll put glue on the pin backs, and then I'll slide these on like so. And we now have perfectly aligned pin backs on our pin and a beautiful kinetic heart that you can put on a hat or you can wear anywhere you want to go with pride, and it will give you something to play with as you do it. Thanks.